Check it out. This is Nathaniel. Say hi. Get your hand out your mouth. Say how you doing. This is Noah. Say what's up. Say what's up. And that's Cheyenne right there.
Hi. My name's Cheyenne. Hi.
And of course, I'm Kaimbr, and this is my life. Allah. Well, I guess I've been writing rhymes since I was like, oh man, 15, 16. I was really inspired by Wu-Tang. Wu-Tang really had me in the lab like, you know, dang, I really want to do this. And it wasn't necessarily the music, it was more so the knowledge behind the music. It was the feel. It was, you know, Kaimbr, it means King Allah, Master Born Ruler. You know, that's Islam for, you know, self-lord and master. And that's me. It means like I'm in control of me. And Wu-Tang was part of that belief that I was a part of. And so when I listened to the music, it was more than just rhymes. It was actually a message that meant something. So that's when I started writing rhymes. When I moved to DC, I hooked up with my man Malik White. He was doing beats. And his beats were real intricate. Like he studied classical music, so like I was the first person he really wanted to try to do hip hop beats for. So it was cool listening to the stuff that he would try to create and recreate as far as the music felt. So about 2-3 years I worked with him, booking shows, getting shows done, recording music. We was doing beats, doing shows, we did an album. You know, it was a real good beginning for me because it taught me how to work in the studio. It taught me how to listen for the beats that I want, how to pick beats, and you know, how to expand beyond, you know, just one producer. And it got to a point where I was like, hey, you know, I like, you know, looking for beats. I like hearing beats. Maybe I should try doing beats. And so I was blessed to work with Odyssey starting off. He was teaching me how to chop samples and, you know, how to trim samples and, you know, how to listen and how to tune them. And it was cool because he taught me basically like, you know, the basics of how to just not make a beat, but, you know, get your beat ready to make. And so then what would happen is Kev would come over and he would listen to what I had and he would just kind of leave and not say nothing. And I was like, dang, you know, this guy's giving me no advice versus Odyssey, he would give me all the advice. But what Kev would do is he would come through and he would do a beat and he would show me, hey, he would show me without talking. He would be like, this is what's going down. And the more questions I asked, the more he would answer the questions. But if I didn't say anything, he wouldn't say anything. So then, once I learned I could pick his brain, I'd be like, all right, what about this and what about that? And then basically just going through the crew or, you know, going through other producers' houses and seeing how they work, I pretty much formulated my style of, you know, this is how I want to do beats. A lot of people say it's the rugged, raw, you know, I just feel like it's me. It's my way of letting my aggression out, you know. When I'm not with my kids, being family, and I'm not at work bartending, flipping bottles, or at home, you know, just watching ESPN, I'm in the lab letting my stresses out, letting my aggression out. So when you hear my music, you know, kind of think of that a little bit because that's where I'm coming from. I'm kind of tying my family and my life all into my music and just kind of pushing it out and letting all the negatives out and grabbing the positives from it and, you know, trying to stay humble and keep it like that. This the joint is the joint I sampled. I really chopped the shit out of it. Missy Elliott, she sampled it for Monica, and yeah, like I said, Missy Elliott sampled the joint. I tried to kind of like chop it up because it was a loop more so she did. The loop was crazy though. I really liked it. So I was kind of iffy about chopping it up, but once I did the beat, I thought it was pretty decent. strings in it, and you know, just a different sound, because you know it's nothing but drums and hip hop, of course, all day. You know, a lot of sometimes guitars, a lot of keys. This, you know, was bells going on, you know, violins going on. So I was like, yeah, you know, I'm really feeling that, like, just to do something different. Then kind of give it like the real spaced out sounds, like Busta Rhymes about to come through or something like this, real crazy. But you know, when the strings come in, it, you know, it gives it a different feel. What can people expect on the album? You know, Ken Starr said it first, you know, and I feel like it's a whole low budget thing. You know, we're not really trying to change the game. The more thing I'm concerned with is making good music, man, and making music that, you know, people could hopefully appreciate. And, you know, when I, you know, go into the lab, go into the studio, come and make a beat, whatever I'm doing, I try to give my full energy and 100% into it. So when you listen to the album, you can expect to hear Kaimbr at 110%. You know, I'm not going to give it to you if it's not something that I'm really feeling right here. So when you listen to it, if you like it, I really appreciate it. You know, holla at me. If you don't, I'm sorry. Maybe, you know, I got something in the future for you. But when you hear the album, expect to hear some raw. Expect to hear something that might take you back to '98. I got Krylon Craft. It's a song about graffiti writing. That's it. Straight graffiti. I got a joint, Better Days. It's talking about everybody. Everybody's had bad days. Everybody's had good days, but we always looking for better days, you know. Got a joint, Cav Multiply, nothing but, you know, some hood-ish. Got a joint with Cy Young, IQ, called Hustler's Theme. Strictly about every hustler needs a theme song, you know, and so we all are trying to find a theme song to our life, so that's what that song is about. Got a joint, Roddy Rod. I'm on Roddy's album too, you look for that too, Rawkus Records also. Got a joint called Whip, joint called Breaking Them Off, crazy. Roddy Rod on both beats, he's killing the game. Of course, more stuff from Kev Brown, Close Court. Close Court is a joint that's kind of like a lot of people put on the front that they want to be something that they're really not. And that's kind of like the format around this album, is like, why be somebody else? Like, right now I can't imagine myself being somebody else. Straight up, I tried doing it before, trying being somebody I'm not. And it didn't work out too well for me. So for this album and for my life, is, you know, why be somebody else when I can just be myself? Because if I give you me, I feel like you would appreciate that more than if I'm giving you somebody else. So back to the Kev joint, the Close Court joint, that's what that song is really about trying to stay within yourself. If you know, out killing every day and you rapping about that, that's you. If you out, you know, grinding, selling socks every day, hey, that's you. I have nothing against any of that. It's just, you know, I'm just trying to do me. So Close Court is pretty much showing me and trying to show the imitators in the game, trying to do something that's not helping the game, trying to imitate something that's they're not. But without any of that, look for the album. Expect great music, good music at the least, and, you know, bunch of appearances. Kev Brown, Kaimbr, Odyssey, Cy Young, IQ, Cronkite, which goes by another name, but we'll leave that on the low. Got Allison Carney on the album, up and coming DC, crazy voice. She stands like 3 feet tall, but her voice is huge. No, straight up, Allison, I love you, peace. But it's, you know, bunch of DC folk on the album, and y'all really going to see what DC has to offer. I'm from Jersey, but my music career got started right here in DC, so this is what I rap when it comes to music. But I still love Jersey, and I'm still getting beats from Jersey. It's always going to be home. But right here, it's my people's at right here. And we got a lot of good music, and we're trying to get it done. Straight up.
Well, when I think about Kaimbr, or what I call him, Alexander, or Alex, or Al as some call him, his music career really began when he was in the 3rd grade in Fort Washington, Maryland. I remember clearly his teacher calling me to the school from work, saying that they were having a problem with Alex because he was dancing like Michael Jackson during the library session, and that he had a lot of energy, and he was always humming or beating on something or writing something down to try and make it rhyme. So the first thing I thought was karate and football. Of course, he did all of the, you know, typical young boy extracurricular activities. But I enrolled him in dance. and he began as a tap dancer. Alex actually became very successful. He won Dance Masters of America, which is the premier dance certification organization that actually bestows titles nationally on you. He went to Las Vegas and competed and won that. He then won Dance Educators of America, as well as Showstoppers, and most of us remember, I can't remember the tap dance kid's name, I think it's Glover something or another. Alex was the second recipient of the Mr. Tap Dance Kid. Savion, that's exactly right. Alex won after he did, the next year. And then Alex also sang in the choir when he was at Ebenezer AME Church in Fort Washington, Maryland. So he always had a unique gift, and that was something that was very natural. He could pick up any musical instrument and learn it. And he loved rhyming, and he used to star in plays in middle school. So he's always been either, see you later, John, he's always been really committed to music. You want me to back it up?
Oh, no, you're fine.
Okay. One of the things that he told me not to talk about was his tap dancing years, because he's embarrassed by it. But I have a few pictures if you want some captions of it.
Oh, yes.
Okay. But he was, see you later, but he was quite good at it. And the reason why Alex stopped dancing was, and not a lot of people know this, but Alex developed a very serious brain tumor and ended up being evacuated, medically evacuated on New Year's Eve when he was 14 years old, from where we lived to the New York at Cornell University Medical Center, where he underwent brain surgery. And he was not supposed to live. And if he did live, he was supposed to be blind and hearing impaired because of the tumor. And it is because of the prayer and God's divine intervention that Alex not only regained everything that the brain tumor took from him, but it seemed to give him even more of an edge.
So what's going on? What's basically taking place right now is the whole
motherfucking Kaimbr shotgun video.
Bitch. The whole.
You just jogging, and so niggas want to run that. All of your pockets pocketing your boxes, while us keys and watches. Streets is watching over your throne, and ain't no calling up the camp cause they clipping your phone. Wire lock, similar to how we arrive. You waiting with an MP and a mic outside. I see you bitch alone, nigga from the block won't cry. Now I'm stashing all that I earned so the heat won't rise. Keep the pot on fire, a sexy dime on the side, but plenty brain to supply. The way the fingers supply, hot damn, it's hard to see how long they can learn to compete. From writing these bars to bars, looped in a rugged key. I am right on program, so let me see some more hands. So if the crew is in the building, that means more crayons. I'ma do what I gotta do, I got you. We lock through the world to survive. And no matter what they say to you, I spray with you, shotgun them down for the ride.
Beautiful.
I'm gonna get my man Kaimbr to do a joint real quick. How you feel? Come on. Smashing, lean back in the black wagon. How that crib now my eyelids barely dragging. Underdogs, women and dog for your mom's madness. Cautious actions, shopping the crates for Maxis. God body access, spit like spinning actions. To whip you more fitting than this. Gotta be backwards, sure. Clean house, fucking with the boy. Next to the L, being screamed with a lost voice. Yet I chose the wall.